Alright, so we're one day away from the 2019 NHL draft, and because of that, we're going to be doing my final overview heading into the draft. I'm very excited for the draft, guys. Basically, as soon as the draft ends, I'm just looking forward to the next one. And this draft especially is very entertaining. We have a lot of top-end talent, specifically within the top 12 range. Teams don't want to really trade outside the top 12 range, so getting into the top 12 is going to be expensive. Basically, after Jack Hughes and Kapokako, between 3 and 12 players can kind of go anywhere, and I wouldn't be too surprised. We have a lot more, top-end talent within this draft. Like, top 5 skill going all the way to the top 12 is just kind of crazy. And because of that, this draft is going to be very interesting, very entertaining. So with that being said, this is going to be my final overview, and I got a couple news topics of the day. The first one is Dylan Cozens has slipped. Dylan Cozens is a 6'3" center winger who has a great skating ability. He also has a very good NHL ready release. He's a very good shooter with a lot of size, good skating ability. He really seems like a very intriguing prospect. There has been some concerns recently that he isn't really able to play the center and that he'd be better on the wing. But for example, a couple months ago, Dylan Cozens in a lot of scouts' minds was ranked within like the top 5 range, but in some scouts' minds now he's out of the top 10, which is pretty crazy. If he somehow ends up in Vancouver's hands, I would be ecstatic. I'm still a big fan of Dylan Cozens. I think he has a lot of potential, so we'll see where it heads. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Dach. So Kirby Dach, again, is kind of similar to like a Dylan Cozens, but the opposite. Kirby Dach is 6'4". He's a good skater for his size, but he's more of a playmaker, whereas Dylan Cozens is a shooter. However, Dach does have a good shot. But the thing is Dach at times seemed like a top 3 pick, but he does lack, consistency issues. So near the beginning of the year, beginning to the middle, he was actually ranked within like the top 5 in a lot of scouts' minds. Later than that, because of his consistency issues, he slipped to like the top 8-ish range. However, a lot of teams, a lot of scouts have been targeting Dach again, specifically the Colorado Avalanche, who do have that number 4 spot. So Dach very well may be entering the top 5 once again. Which leads me into my next topic, Bowen Byram, who in my opinion is the number 3 talent within this draft, who's a potential top pairing defenseman, who has a lot of offensive upsides, a lot of dynamic aspects to his game. It seems like Bowen Byram is slipping. Not because of his play, but because of positional need. Chicago has been very much targeting Alex Turcotte. So Alex Turcotte, of course, is a Chicago boy. He's a center who has a lot of upside, potentially a top-line center. And with that being said, Colorado has also been putting a lot of interest within forwards too, which means that basically after Jack Hughes, Kapokako, we might see 2 more forwards. And Bowen Byram very well may just slip to the top 5 range, which LA would be very happy. And again, if you guys watched one of my previous videos, I talked about Detroit trying to get Byram. That might be the perfect opportunity for Detroit to trade up and draft that, defenseman of the future. The next topic is Philip Broberg. So Broberg is a pretty controversial prospect. A lot of guys think he has, Broberg is a defenseman who has all the pieces to be a top pairing defenseman. However, again, just like Dach, he does lack some consistency issues. He's a very good puck-moving transitional game defenseman who has a lot of upside, but again does lack consistency issues. Because of that, he does seem like more of a wild card pick, but Edmonton specifically has been showing a lot of interest in Broberg. Edmonton, in my opinion, should be drafting and focusing on forwards. However, if they do think Broberg is that guy who could potentially be a top pairing defenseman, I would understand why they'd take him at number 8. Especially heading into this offseason where we're seeing a lot of scarcity in terms of defensemen, it would make sense why Edmonton wants to target Broberg. However, I do feel like if they do want Broberg, they should try trading down to perhaps Vancouver's spot, if not Minnesota's pick. Because at number 8, that does seem a little bit high, but who knows? Edmonton may just not want to take the risk and pick him up at 8. The next topic is Payton Krebs. So Payton Krebs just recently tore his Achilles tendon, which is just horrible. I've torn my ACL many times. It's just not a fun thing to do when dealing with tendons. However, of course, Payton Krebs had a successful surgery and is looking like he's going to be ready for the start of next season, if not a little bit after the start of next season. Some people think that he may slide because of this, but actually a lot of people have been putting a lot of emphasis on him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's picked within like the top 6, 7. Again, Payton Krebs played on a horrible Kootenay Ice team, a team that gave him no support. However, Payton Krebs is a very good heart and hustle guy. Payton Krebs has a lot of upside, and if he did have those supporting pieces, Payton Krebs very well may have just been a 100+ point player. Payton Krebs is going to be one of those guys that's very interesting to see where he goes because he does have a lot of upside. And we'll see how his like plus minus and how his stats reflect on where he goes. The last topic is Cole Caulfield pulls a Philip Zadina. So what does that mean? Well, last year Philip Zadina told Ottawa in Montreal if that they don't pick him, he's gonna fill up their nets for years. A pretty cocky move, but also pretty funny. Cole Caulfield reportedly told teams if they do pass on him, he's gonna make them regret it. Who knows, this could have been just a joke or taken out of context, but I do love the grittiness of that comment. Cole Caulfield, of course, just got listed at 5'7", pretty small guy, but he may just be one of the purest goal scorers in this draft. So you gotta love the feistiness in Cole Caulfield. But anyways, guys, are you excited for this draft? I know I am. A lot of content coming out, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later.